Welcome back to Hope's Homemade Kitchen. If you're new here and you haven't joined me before, I'm Hope, and each week I do step-by-step recipes that any home cook can make in their kitchen. Today we are doing buttermilk biscuits. Now there are many recipes out there. I'm trying a new one today using all-purpose flour, some leavening ingredients, and shortening. Let's get started. I'll show you the ingredients and we'll see how it turns out. For our buttermilk biscuit recipe, the ingredients are pretty simple. All-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, buttermilk, shortening, and melted butter. Okay, to start off, I preheated my oven to 425 degrees. I'll be measuring 3 cups of all-purpose flour into a large mixing bowl. And to measure, I'll just fluff the flour up and level it off with a knife. To that, we'll be adding 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of salt. We'll whisk all that together so the ingredients are well blended. Next, we're adding some cold Crisco. I'm using butter-flavored Crisco. Any kind of shortening will do. It is a 1/2 cup of shortening. I'm using a pastry blender. I'm going to break that up until the mixture resembles like a coarse meal. So I just put the shortening in the freezer for a few minutes before I started the recipe. Next, we'll be adding 1½ cups of cold buttermilk. You just want to add it gradually, mix gently. You don't want to over mix the dough. So basically mix it until it kind of pulls away from the sides and most of the crumb mixture is incorporated. We're going to lightly flour our surface. Now if you have one of those big silicone mats, it's perfect for this. If not, it's good right on a clean counter that's been dusted with flour. Okay, you just want to kind of form the dough until it comes together. Now if you want, you can fold it over once or twice. That kind of has an effect of making layers in the biscuits. I'm going to roll it out until it's about a 1/2 inch thick. Now this is supposed to make 12 biscuits. And I think today, rather than using a biscuit cutter, I don't have an official biscuit cutter. I think I'm just going to cut them in squares, and then there's no biscuit parts to have to reform. So roughly dividing it into 12. Oh no, this may be the first square biscuit you've ever had. Some of them are actually rectangles, but this way there's no waste. And we'll see how it turns out. So I have a small size baking sheet. I'm going to spray with cooking spray. Okay. Now I'm going to brush the top with butter. Let's put them in the oven. We'll bake it for 10 minutes and we'll see how it goes. Okay, the biscuits have been in for 10 minutes. Let's see what they look like. They look really good and they're rising perfectly. They're a little blonde for my taste. I'm going to brush it with the rest of the butter that I had. Now I had 2 tablespoons of butter I originally started off with. Now I'm going to cook it for about 3 to 5 more minutes. I want them to be golden brown. Okay, I've cooked them an additional 5 minutes, and I think those are just perfect. A good color. I can tell there are flaky layers in there. Let's take them over for a taste test. These are very hot, just out of the oven. They have beautiful layers in them, nice and brown on the bottom. Ooh. I like mine with a little bit of butter and jam. Now it's getting to be strawberry season here pretty soon. And I'll be going out into the strawberry fields locally around here, picking some strawberries and making homemade jam. So I hope you'll join me for that. This is some strawberry rhubarb jam that I made last year. First, I'm going to try the other side with just by itself or with a little butter. Let's give the butter one a taste test. Beautiful, flaky, crunchy on the outside, and buttery. Now I did use butter flavored shortening. And then I brushed it with butter on top, so you have plenty of butter flavor there. And then the side with the jam. This is such an easy recipe. I really do hope you try it. And rather than cutting out the biscuits into round shape, I just cut them into equal squares, or rectangles in some case here. And that way there was no waste, nothing I had to roll up again. I hope you try it. If you do try it, let me know in the comments down below how it turned out. Thank you so much for joining me again on Hope's Homemade Kitchen. I appreciate you dropping by and joining me on my channel. If you like what you saw today, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. It really helps my channel. We'll see you next time.